This conference will now be recorded.
So again, repeating guys, today's topic is secure communication. If you guys remember, as of now, every time, whatever the communication we tried to establish, it was through public IP address. But in real-time situation, public IP address is not the secure way. So, so let me show you here. This is my machine. If you'll create a machine, what Microsoft is doing, Microsoft offering two IP. One is the public IP, and which will be controlled by Microsoft. For example, it's a 18.125.35.126. This is public IP address. Similarly, Microsoft will give you a private IP also. You guys can control it. Suppose you're looking for the series of IP, you're looking for your network is 192 series, 10 series, 11 series, or any other series. Accordingly, you guys will get the number. Suppose the first machine I have created, the series is 192.168.0.4. So this I can control. 192.168.0.4 is my private IP address, while 18.125.35.26 is the public IP address. So for as of now, every time I use public IP address, but in real-time situation in production environment, normally internal communication, for the internal communication or for the secure communication, public IP address is not the best way. Okay, so what normally people are doing, people are disabling the public IP address. Even in past, I shown you how you guys can exclude the public IP address. And whatever the communication you're planning, in case you're planning to establish the secure communication, you guys can use private IP address. To establish the secure communication, there are three ways. One, internally, if you're going to communicate, your machine internally going to communicate inside the network, then it don't require anything. But external communication, in case you're looking for, you have to go with the VPN or express route. These two are the options. VPN we guys can establish, but express route we cannot establish. That's very simple, but you have to communicate with your service provider. They will visit to your office with their team and help you to set up the express route. Commercially, express route is very costly, minimum $600 per month, and maximum it can go up to $84,000 per month, depending on what configuration you are looking for, how much data you are planning to transfer. In case you feel you are planning to transfer the huge amount of data, then I would suggest you guys to go with express route. If the data size is not so huge, then you guys can use VPN communication. So VPN communication I'll show you today. So as I told you, for each machine, Microsoft will give you two IP. It's totally up to you whether we are looking for the secure communication or through public IP address. If I'm talking about the connectivity or peering or secure communication in Microsoft Azure Cloud Computing, we have multiple techniques available. One technique is called as the VNet to VNet peering. So this we already have discussed. If you remember, I think it was last Saturday, not yesterday, it was last Saturday when we discussed about the VNet peering. If you have two network available, how you guys can establish the communication. But that day, because of the shortage of time, I could not tell you the architecture. So that architecture, even in case you want, I will recap the implementation, which will not take much time, maximum 2 minutes. Then the second, I'll tell you about the VNet to VNet connection. If you have two cloud network available and you are planning to make the communication between these two, then how to do it. Then the third, I'll tell you if you want to make the communication from your local environment to cloud computing through private IP address. So all the three types of communication I'm going to establish through private IP address. Before moving ahead, today I'll cover the multiple use cases. The use case number one. Okay, so in the first use case, if you have two network available, okay, let me go with it. Okay. First use case is called the VNet peering. VNet, sorry guys, VNet peering. Second is called VNet to VNet connection. Third is called P2S, point to site. And this is like the site to site. This is like site to site. In case you have two establishments available in Azure ecosystem, then you guys can use VNet to VNet. In case you have you want to planning to make the to establish the connection between from one site to another site, then you guys can use site to site connection also. So point to site connection. And the last type is called the site to site connection. Okay, so first what I'm doing, I'm going to discuss about the architecture. First architecture means VNet to VNet pairing. Then I will show you the implementation, and the same implementation I will use in all the situations, with all the use cases. So guys, if you have two network available, you see here, this is my network. Here I have one network. In this network, what I'm doing, suppose I have 2, 3, 4 machines available. Suppose I have machine number 1. Okay, this is machine number 1. Suppose on top of this machine, what I'm running my databases. So this is network 1. In this network, I'm running my databases. Similarly, I have one more network available, but in that network, I'm running my application, and both networks are available in Azure cloud computing. Remember, the use case is if you have two networks available, maybe both networks available in the same region, or these two networks available in different region. Maybe one network available in India, second available in Australia, and you are planning to make the communication secure private communication, then you guys can use this technique. This is called the VNet to VNet peering or VNet peering. Okay, in this condition, usually you think you are going to make a direct communication, but exactly it's not a direct communication. Whenever you're going to make the communication, so here the first site is called the spoke 1. Okay, so I'll write here SPOKE, spoke 1. Virtual network. And this is spoke to virtual network. So I have two networks available in cloud computing. You think you are going to make the direct communication, but exactly it's not happen. Internally, what Microsoft is doing, Microsoft will set up hub virtual network. So here, this is the background process. And in this case, both sites should be available in Azure ecosystem. Means if both network are available in Azure, then only you can implement. If one network available in Azure, second network available in AWS, and you are planning to make the communication through VNet peering, it's not possible. Second option is VNet to VNet connection. So here you can. Site can be anything. So guys, this establish okay, this is the setup you have to implement. Internally, what Microsoft is doing, internally Microsoft is implementing the hub virtual network. So this is the internal process, you don't need to worry about it. Okay, in the hub virtual network, Microsoft is providing, majorly they are providing three major components. One is called the gateway subnet, second is called the management subnet, and the third is called the firewall subnet. Okay, this is the internal setup. So here, this is gateway subnet, and this is your firewall subnet, and this is management subnet. Okay, in gateway subnet, what Microsoft is doing, Microsoft will set up a VNG, virtual network gateway. So guys, here in this subnetwork, Microsoft will set up a gateway which is called the VNG, Virtual Network Gateway. And in management subnet, what Microsoft is doing, Microsoft will create a jump box VM or jump box server. So right here, Microsoft will give you a jump box VM. Okay, and in firewall, what they will do, they will give you firewall, Azure firewall. So guys, this is your firewall. Okay, here VM1, suppose Sql VM1, Sql VM2, web server 1 and web server 2. Okay, so internally what Microsoft is doing, one second, let me move this little right side. Okay, so what internally Microsoft is doing, okay, one second. They will implement two-way communication. Okay, so guys, this is the setup that Microsoft is providing. So you feel you have two network. This is one network available in United States. Suppose I have another network available in India. In these two networks, I have two machines. I have two machines for the SQL server. In India also, I have two machines for the web server. These are the web servers. Now, what I'm planning to make the direct communication between these two. So if you remember last time I showed you, if you have two network available, just go and in the network, we have the property which is called the VNet peering or peering. Just go and enable the peering. Microsoft will create two connections. One connection they will create in India. Second connection they will create in United States. That's a background process. Internally, what Microsoft is doing, whenever you're going to set up the connection, internally Microsoft will set up. After that's available as an image. So internally, Microsoft will activate Hub Virtual Network. And in the Hub Virtual Network, Microsoft is providing gateway subnet, management subnet, and firewall. So actually, you are not going to communicate directly. You have to communicate through the Hub Virtual Network. Okay, but this you guys can use, or this you should use if you feel both of network available in Azure cloud ecosystem, then I would suggest you guys to use it. But if you feel one network is available in AWS, second network available somewhere else, and you are planning to make the secure communication, then I will suggest you to go with the other option, not this one. Is it clear to everyone? This is the architecture of Azure VNet peering. So last time I said I will show you guys, but maybe later on. Today, again, same architecture. Okay, so same implementation. I'm going to show you in all the three use cases. So what I'm doing, I'm going to create a, yeah,
Uh, what is the traffic flow between the if will be there between VM to VM? How it will
traffic
traffic?
traffic flow means.
How will they will connect it? Like what
Through,
will be the
I'll
flow
show you.
first?
Give me,
Okay,
give me a second. It will connect through private IP address, even in case you want to access the application, you want to access any other resources, you want to extend the file, or you want to take the remote desktop, everything is possible. I'm going to show you. Give me 10 minutes. Okay, one more thing, guys, for today's implementation. Sorry. For today's implementation, there's a waiting time of 40 minutes. The reason we have to set up a VNG, Virtual Network Gateway, which is taking around 40 minutes. So what I'll do, I'll prepare my system in such a way so that we can reduce our waiting period. Okay, this is the portal. What I'm doing, I'm going to create two resource group. One resource group I'll create in India, and one setup I'll set up here. Second setup I'll set up somewhere in different country. So what I'll do, I'm going to create a resource group. Name of my resource group is USRJ. Okay, and where I'm going to create, I'm going to create in West US. Okay, West US. Okay, here environment as a yes. Second resource group I'm going to create in India location. So in today's session, guys, there are lots of steps that you have to memorize. So INRG is the another resource group which I'm going to create in West India, which is Mumbai, West India location, and here environment as a IN. Okay, so guys, what I did first, I created two resource group. Now in these two resource group, I'm going to create a two different network. One network in India, second network in United States. One more thing, make sure the series of IP should not conflict, or it should not be same. If you're going to use the series 10.0.0 for one network, same series if you're using for the second network, technically it's possible, you can do it. But later on, in case you're looking for the private communication, Microsoft will not allow, it will conflict. So here, what I'm doing, I'm going to create a network first. And one more thing, VNG, in today's session, make sure you guys will not run machine for the long duration region. That's very costly. Even Microsoft will charge maybe 2,000 rupees per day, 1,000 or 2,000 rupees per day they will charge in this case if you're going to set up the VPN. Here guys, what I'm doing, first I'm going to create a network in India. Name is INRG. This is my resource group. And network name I'm going to pass as INVNet, India network. IN network. Okay, where I'm going to create in West India location. Series of IP I'm going to change here, guys. Suppose in India I'm looking for the IP series like 192.168.0.0/16. In this condition, Microsoft will give you up to 65,536 machine. What I'm doing, I'm not going to use all IP. One more trick here, if you're going to use the all IP in the same network, then later on Microsoft will not allow you to create the VNG. For the VNG, at least you should have some IPs available, then only Microsoft will allow. Here, the subnetwork name I'm going to pass as a Ganga, VNet, Subnet, and series of IP I'm going to use the same series, 192.168.0.0/24. It means in this subnetwork, Microsoft will allow you to add 256 machine. As of now, all the IPs are still available. I can later on, I can reuse. And here, I'm not going to make any changes. Only one thing I'll change here, environment as India. So this is the Indian environment. What I'll do, I will create here, guys. I will create another network in United States. Then what I'll do, I'll create a VNG. Why VNG required? VNG is not required in this case to set up VNet to VNet peering. VNG is not required. But if you're going to set up VNet to VNet connection, or you're going to set up a P2C or P2S, then VNG is required, which will take 40 minutes to create. That's why today I'll provision first, and then we will do whatever the pending activities are. So my first network is ready. What I'm doing, I'm going to create another network. See here, this is first network. in West India location. I'm going to create another network here in US Adelaide. Name of my network is US network. Okay, West US, which is okay. Series IP, I'm not going to use the same series. Last time what I used 192.168.0.0/16. This time I'm going to use another series. If you're going to use here, it will allow, but later on, if you're going to make the communication, it will conflict. Then you have to delete everything. So make sure it should not be common. Here, US subnet, okay. Okay, environment as a US. So this network I'm going to create for US and tag with the US. Now what I'll do, I'll create the other resources quickly on the fly. I will not take much time. Quickly, I'm going to create other resources. Before it, what I'm doing, I'm going to create a two VNG. VNG means Virtual Network Gateway. So Microsoft is offering a service which is called the Virtual Network Gateway. In case you are planning to set up the private communication, maybe through point to, maybe a VNet to VNet, P2S or S2S, and maybe through VPN or through Express route, that service is mandatory. So what I'll do, I'm going to create it first, then we will discuss about the architecture. So here you can see here, I have a service available which is called the Virtual Network Gateway. This is the same gateway I was talking earlier that Microsoft already have created the image. In case of Hub Virtual Network, they will give you an out-of-the-box feature. So what is VPN Gateway? So guys, VPN Gateway is just a platform which will help you to connect to network. Maybe you're planning to connect to network which is available in cloud computing, or you are planning to connect on-premise network, your office network, your home network from your office or home to cloud network. That's possible. So here Microsoft offering two major components for the connectivity. One is called the VPN and second is called as the express route. If I'm talking about the protocol, so Microsoft here, they're supporting IPsec and IKE, Internet Key Exchange, and Internet, Industry Standard Protocol, Internet Protocol Security, IPsec, Internet Protocol Security, and IKE. What I'm doing, I'm going to create. So this will take up to 40 minutes. That's why initially I told you guys there's a waiting period of 40 minutes. So before moving ahead, what I have to do, I have to return back to my network. Just go and check the network. This is also mandatory. Directly you cannot create. So what I'm doing, I'm going to pin these two network on dashboard. See, this is my first network and this is second network. These two networks I'm going to pin on dashboard. Now I'm going to click on the first network. Here, just go and select the subnetwork. In the subnetwork, you can see here we have the property called the gateway subnet. So gateway subnet will create a bridge for the communication. And under one network, you guys can create minimum or maximum one gateway subnet. Name you cannot change, it will be as it is. So what I'm doing, I'm going to add it. And if you already have used all IP, then Microsoft will not allow you to create a gateway subnet. Remember, that's why I said if you if you're planning to create a gateway subnet, so make sure some IP should be available, then only Microsoft will allow. And name you cannot change. It will be always gateway subnet only. Okay, same activity I'm going to perform in second network. Here, just go and select the subnetwork. Click on the gateway subnet and add here. So what I did, first I created resource group, then I created two network in two different locations. In each network, I added a gateway subnet. These three steps. Okay, now in fourth step, what I'm doing, I'm going to create a VNG. I'm planning to create one VNG in India. Second VNG I'll create in United States. So just go and select. Here we have the service called the VNG. Okay, that is very costly. Remember, it's not cheaper one, so very costly. Here, normally you see by default we are getting option to select the resource group, but in this case we are not getting option to select the resource group. So what I'm doing, I'm planning to create for India location. So first I'm going to create for India location. So here I'm going to select the West India. In West India, just check, do you have a network available? So here, one second guys, region is West India. Okay, here we have the network. One second. Okay, I have a network available in West India location. And if you remember, initially I said you have to add a gateway subnet. So whatever the gateway subnet you have added, that will be default selected here, and you cannot modify it. That's why initially I said it's a mandatory. You have to add. Otherwise, later on Microsoft will not allow you to perform any activity. Now what I'm doing, I'm going to move ahead and see here. Once you selected the network, by default here your resource group is selected. Okay, and the name of my VNG I'm going to pass as a INVNG. INVNG. And guys, in this service or in this session, we don't have the retake option. If you are going to do a single mistake, you have to do everything from scratch. There's no retake option. And here we have two types of gateway. As initially I told you, Microsoft is offering two types of gateway. One is through VPN and the second is express route. I will explain. Let me create this, then I'll explain how exactly this is working. So here what Microsoft is doing, Microsoft is offering two types of gateway. One is VPN and the second is express route. And what more, okay, what there are two type of VPN type also available in market. One is the VPN route-based VPN, and the second is policy-based VPN. In case you're looking for the one-to-many communication, then I would suggest you guys to go with the route-based. And in case you're looking for the one-to-one communication, later on here extension is not possible, then you guys can go with the policy-based. For the timing, I would suggest you guys to go with the one-to-many option, means route-based. If I'm talking about the SKU, SKU stands for stock keeping unit. So here Microsoft is offering multiple SKU. Depending on the selected SKU, Microsoft will charge. Suppose if you're going to use the basic one, then here maximum, or I guess aggregated throughput, you'll get 100 Mbps. In this case, aggregated throughput will be 100 Mbps. In case of side to side or VNet to VNet channel, you'll get you guys can you guys can create maximum 10 connection. And in case you're looking for the point to side, then you guys can create maximum 128 connection. And throughput, you'll get 100 Mbps. In case you're going to select the VPN gateway number 1, then here the throughput will be 650 Mbps. If you're going to select the gateway number 2, then here you'll get maximum 1 Gbps. Here in this case, I think 1.25 Gbps, and many more. And one more. I don't remember about 4 and 5th. I think it's 5 or 10 Gbps. I think it's a 4, 5 or 10 Gbps. And connection, number of connection that you guys can. Suppose you are looking for, if you're looking for the point to site connection or open VPN connection, then you guys can go maximum 10,000 connection at one time. If you're using the last one where you'll get a 10 Gbps throughput, then here in this case you can go up to 10,000. Here you guys can go up to 5,000, here 1,000, and so on. So if you're looking for the basic one, then maximum I think 250. I think 250 connections are possible at a time. Okay, for the timing, I'm going with the gateway number 2. Means in short, you can understand here Microsoft offering multiple SKU. If you're looking for the lower SKU, if you're going to sell the lower SKU, you have to pay less amount, but the performance will be lower, number of connection will be lower. Okay, one more thing, Microsoft is offering 2 generation. Same SKU you'll get in generation number 1 also. Sorry guys, whatever I was explaining for the generation number 1. So in generation number 1, the throughput will start with 100 Mbps. But if you're using generation number 2, this one, then throughput will start with 1.25 Gbps. But here you have to pay more, 2.4. 2.5, sorry, 1.25, 2.5, 5, 10, and so on. Maximum you guys can achieve up to 10 Gbps. So what I'm going to select generation number 2, VPN gateway number 2. This is the latest generation. And here we have
Atul,
to
can you
pass.
please, sorry, Atul, can you please repeat that? I got confused between this generation and the
Okay,
thing.
let me tell you. Let me open Google. Mm, Azure Gateway SKU sizes. So guys, what Microsoft is doing? Microsoft is offering generation, SKU generation. So the latest generation is this one. This is the latest generation, and this is latest generation is called the generation 2. And the earlier it was generation 1. So in case you're looking, in case you're planning to pay less amount, then you're not ready to pay, you're looking for the lowest performance and you don't want to pay a huge amount, then you can go with the generation 1. In case you're looking for the better performance, then you can go with this one. You'll get the better feature, better performance. If you're good, if you're using generation 1, then here Microsoft will offering multiple SKU, basic, gateway 1, 2, 3, and so on. If you're using gateway 1, so here your throughput you'll get 100 Mbps, 650, 1 Gbps, 1.25 Gbps, and so on. And if you're using generation 2, so here it will start from 1.25 Gbps, maximum it will go up to 10 Gbps. Is it clear, Satish?
Atul, what about availability?
Availability, in this case, it will be 99.95%. 99.95%.
And I mean, this is single point of failure. Do we have any other option? Like, can we create another connection between these two so that any case one fails,
You
then
can.
another will come up?
You can. Perfect. That's why if you remember, initially I said here we have two options. In case you're looking for the one-to-one or one-to-many, that's the possible.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're selecting the second one, that over there it will not be possible. That's why I said you should go with the first one. Over there, this feature you will get. One more thing, here you have to pass the IP. So this is IP of the VNG IP. So I mean, you have to pass the name. Internally, Microsoft will give you a public static IP address. So here I'm going to create a VNG for India. So name is INVNG and PIP. Okay. So here I'm not going to set up the BGP and others. Directly I'm going to create, and it will take up to 40 minutes. So this is the first setup. I'll discuss about the architecture also. Let me create this first, then I'll come on architecture part. Reason here it will take time. If I'm going to discuss architecture first and then I'll provision the environment, it will take, I mean, we have to wait for 40 minutes. So let me create this first, then I'll discuss about it. Okay, so provisioning of first VNG in India is started. Same type of activity I'm going to create, I'm going to perform in US also. Sorry for the disturbance, guys. It's okay, guys. So here name is USVNG, United States Virtual Network Gateway. I have a network available in West US location, so I'm going to select the West US. I'm not. One more thing here, you guys. If you want, if you're looking for a better performance for very fast speed, then you guys can go with the express route. But I cannot set up by own. To set up the express route, you have to discuss with your service provider. They will help you to set up it. Individually, you cannot. So hey guys, here I'm going to select the US network, and I'll not make any changes here. Directly I'm going to pass the name as the US VNG okay, and this I'm going to tag with the environment as the US. Okay, where I'm going to create West US. First, I created in West India location. Okay, so from here, guys, it will take up to 40 minutes, maybe 25, 30, 35, or 40. How much time it will take? I don't know. Okay, sometimes I mean minimum is it's 20 minutes minimum. Why it's taking time? Reason internally Microsoft will create a end-to-end setup, end-to-end physical setup. To set up it, it's taking time.
Okay,
In
Atul.
between,
So, from AWS network to any other private network, this same thing will, like this same connection will work, or do we have another infrastructure for that?
it okay, same will work. Same will work. So actually, there's a concept. There's another concept I'll tell you later on. So in case you're looking for, actually you have to set up. This will work. Don't worry, give me some time. I will explain. Once I'll draw the architecture, I'll explain over there how exactly it will work. Okay. Over there, you have to set up LNG. Here we are trying to set up the VNG. Over there, you have to set up LNG also. Okay. Okay, 1 second, where I was. Okay. So now in last step, what I'm doing, I'm going to create machine. One machine I'm going to create in India. You can create multiple, but just for the demo purpose, I'm going to create two machines. One machine I'll create in India. Second machine I'm going to create in United States. Suppose, guys, there are two vendors working. One vendor, suppose these two networks belong to the company American Express. American Express is working with the two company. One is the IBM and the second is SCL Technology Limited. Application is maintained by SCL and the database is maintained by IBM. Okay, so what you are looking for, you're looking to set up the secure and private communication between these two. For this purpose, I'm going to create one application server and one database server. So let me create a database server in United States and application server in India location. So what I'm doing, I'm going to click on create a resource. Here, I'm going to search SQL Server. SQL Server. So if you remember last time I said Microsoft offering multiple versions of the SQL Server. If you're looking for the SQL on PaaS or you're looking for the SQL on AS, both are available. Or other databases like pSQL, MySQL, Oracle, DB2, all these options are available. Whatever you are planning to provision, you can. In my case, what I'm planning, I'm going to set up Windows SQL Server 2019 on top of Windows Server 2022. Okay, so here Windows, okay, SQL Server 2019 on Windows Server 2022. Here you can select which edition you are looking for. Are you looking for the web edition, enterprise edition, standard edition, or developer edition? So guys, developer edition is free of course. I don't need to pay anything for it. So I'm planning to go with it. What I did, I just selected developer edition. And this machine database server I'm going to create in United States. Okay, and name of my server is database server or DB SQL VM. Where I'm going to create? I'm going to create in West US location. Remember, in case you're looking for the high availability for it. Remember, if you're looking for the high availability for it, then I would suggest you to go with the availability option. That's totally up to you which availability option you are going to select. If you're using, skill set, you are using availability zone or you are using availability set. We have all three options available depending on the location to location you can select. In West US location, we cannot use the availability zone, but yeah, we have two options available. One is the skill set, and third is availability set. As of now, we have discussed about the availability zone and availability set. Still, we haven't discussed about the availability set. That we will discuss maybe next week. So for the time being, today I'm going to select the availability set. Quickly on the fly, I'm going to create an availability set in United States. Name is AV set. Here, fault domain FD has selected 2 and UT selected 5. In case you're looking for the more number of machine, more manageability, in case you're looking for, you guys can increase this number if you're looking for that only. And remember, this time what image I have selected? I have selected the SQL Developer Edition on top of Windows Server 2022. Here, the configuration of the machine, I'm going with the default one. Usually for the database server, I would suggest you guys to go with the higher number of memory and RAM, memory and CPU, not RAM. Okay. Username and password, I'm going to use same. Username is there. Password is India at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. India at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm not going to attach any extra disk here. Here, if you remember, in United States, we already have created a network, US network. By default, it will be selected. If in that region you have multiple network available, you'll get the list of all the network. In next step, you have to select the subnetwork. So in my case, I have one subnetwork and another gateway subnet. So this is selected. IP address name, in case you feel you want to keep the same name, then you can go with it. Otherwise, you can change. NSG, I would suggest you guys to give the proper name. What exactly, okay, one second, VM NSG. And this is a database server. What I'm doing, I'm going to allow, in this case, guys, I'm going to allow a service called the SQL server, MS SQL. So this server, this service I'm going to enable. SQL server is running on port number 1433. By default, it will be allowed. In case you want to deny, you can deny also. In India location, what I'll do, I will enable HTTP access. Okay. Next, I'm not going to set up identity or a backup, recovery, or anything else. I'll go with the default option. And here, I'm not going to install any extensions. In case you feel you're looking for, you can. And in last guys, here we have the another tab introduced here in this case. It's a Sql Server Setting. So you guys can decide here what type of connectivity you're looking for. Are you looking for the connectivity means private network? Second is local. Third is the public. So when you can select the local. If your application and database both are available at same network, same machine, then I would suggest you guys to go with it. I mean, you can use it. Normally nowadays people are not doing application and databases are not available on the same machine. So, but if it is the case, then you can use it. Private network, in case you want to allow the access of the SQL server inside the network or through the VPN or express out, then you guys can use private. In case you're looking, you're planning to allow the access to open access to anyone, then you guys can use public one. Whatever you are planning to select, you can select here. One more thing, authentication. By default, it will be Windows authentication. In case you feel you're planning to introduce the SQL authentication, just go click on the enable and pass the username and password. In my case, by default, it's saved. So Dev India at the rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the key vault, I'm not going to enable. In case you feel you want to enable, you can. One more thing, in this case, Microsoft will give you multiple storage, multiple disk Microsoft will offer you. So first disk size will be 1 terabyte. IOPS will be 5,000, and this is for the data. Second will be for the SQL log. This is the second. The size will be 1 terabyte. The third disk Microsoft will give you SQL temporary disk. This is local disk SSD. So these 3 disks Microsoft will give you. Okay, and here, in case you are already using the SQL Server under on-premise environment and same license you want to reach here, you guys can use. Microsoft will give you up to 43% discount on licensing part. One more thing, patching. By default, the patching is scheduled for the every Sunday, 2 a.m. night timing. In case you feel you want to change, you can change here. Or in case patching you want to disable, you can disable also. Suppose you are looking to patch daily, not daily, Monday, Tuesday, or whenever, what time, you guys just go and set up it. Backup, in case you want to enable the backup, you can. One more thing, this SQL Server, in case you're planning to introduce or you're planning to use for the advanced analytics, especially for the R implementation, then you guys can enable it. Nowadays, with the latest version of the SQL Server is already integrated. I mean, we have the major component, lots of components available where you guys can use the machine learning or R. So in case you're looking for, then you guys can enable. For the time being, I'm not going to implement the R or machine learning. So just select the environment. as United States. I think this is for US. So guys, this is my first machine. Hourly charges will be 23 US dollar. Okay. So here I have selected the developer edition. If you are using the enterprise edition, you have to pay more. Okay. So wait for 10 minutes. Here in this case, there's a waiting period after 10 minutes. Why? Usually, if you're creating a machine, normal machine, Microsoft will take 40 seconds. But in this case, it may take 5 to 10 minutes. Reason, they will create a server on top of the other server. They will create multiple server. So they will create a VM. Once the VM will be ready, they will install the SQL Server to set up everything. Normally, it's taking 5 to 10 minutes. So we cannot wait. In the meantime, we can reuse our. I mean, we can save our time. And the second machine we are going to provision now. Second machine I'm going to provision in India location. And as of now, if you see here, VNG, since last 10 minutes, the provisioning is underway for the VNG, India VNG and US VNG. In next step, I'm going to create an application server in India location. Here I have selected India RG. VM name I'm going to pass as a app server DB DB. Okay, web VM. Okay, this I'm going to create in West India location. In West US also, so in West India also, we have availability set and Sql set feature. We don't have the availability zone. This feature available in Pune location, not in Mumbai. One more thing here. Here I'm going to select availability set, AV set. Okay. At this time, I'm going to use the Windows Server 2019 data center or 2022. This is application server. So I'm going to use the Windows Server 2019 data center, which is application server, and the CPU will be 4, RAM I'm going to use 16 GB. Every month for this VM to run, if you're running this VM 24/7, then every month you have to pay $180. I'm not going to avail any benefit. In case you have something and you're applying to avail the benefit, then here you guys can avail up to 79% benefit. So here the username for this machine also is a dev India at 123456. India at 123456. Next, in India we have network IRVNet Ganga. Okay, here also I'm going to create an NSG, and here what I'm planning to enable HTTP access. Okay, other changes I'm not going to touch. I'll use as it is. Even I'm not going to implement auto shutdown. I'm not going to enable the backup also. And here environment Azure India. So guys, provisioning of my machine is also started. Okay, here it may take 40 seconds. In between, the provisioning is going on. So let's discuss about. Okay, let me show you the first case, the first use case where you guys even this implementation already shown you. If you don't remember, then you can see it again. So guys, my first machine is here. As of now, provisioning is underway. Okay, since last 15 minutes, these two are going on, and this is since last 4 minutes. Here, it will not take much time. Okay. One more thing, just see here. Actually, this machine is ready. Actually, this machine is ready, but server is ready, but still SQL Server is not ready. That's why provisioning is in the way. I think now SQL Server is also ready. Okay, SQL Server is also ready. So what I'm planning to take the remote desktop of the machine. This is the SQL VM. Sorry, web VM, not SQL. This is the web VM, MSTSC. Dev is the username. Password is India at 123456. Web server is ready. I mean, this is a web machine. What I'm doing, I'm going to convert as a web server, and I'll move a website from my local machine. Okay. In between, let me copy the web content from my local. So here in my C drive, I already have a website, published website, Spicer. This website I'm going to copy, and this is my web server, which is located in India location. What I'm doing, by default, firewall is enabled. For the time being, I'm going to disable it. Firewall I'll disable and install the web server IIS. Here, just go click on the add roles and feature. As of now, it's collecting the data for inventory, may not allow you to proceed. So wait for a few seconds. Remember, the setup that today I'm going to provision is very costly. If you're going to run your server 24/7, two server, if you're going to run for 24/7, maybe it will charge you 4 to 6,000 rupees, depending on what SKU you have selected. If it is lower, then maybe 1,000 rupees per day. If it is higher, then maybe 10,000 rupees per day. Here, I'm going to enable the web role as a web server IIS, and in this activity, it may take a minute or two. In between, I'm going to check here. If you see a window defender, firewall is on. Just for the demo purpose, I'm going to off it. Okay, I turned off the firewall. Now let me check the C drive of the machine. This is web server. I'm going to open the C drive of the machine. Okay, it may take some more time. Only 20% completed. In between, I'm going to check the status of the VNGs. Okay, so yes, machine is ready. So still provisioning of the VNG is underway since last 20 minutes, but database server is ready. So what I'm doing, I'm going to take the remote desktop of this machine also. Although, okay, let me take it. And here I will not install anything, just show you the SQL Server. Here I have inetpub, www root, and the website that I copied from my local machine. I'm going to move here. Okay. In between, I'm going to copy the public IP address. As of now, I'm using public IP address, but very soon I'll show you the implementation through private also. So here, I'll take the remote desktop. Username for this machine was also dev. Password is India at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Here, I'll show you the SQL Server. It's working, and I'll create a database also. In the SQL Server, I will create a database and a test table. Yes, a test table. And the second, I will turn off the firewall just for testing purpose. Okay. Okay, here I'm going to open SSMS Sql Server Management Studio. First time guys loading, so it may take some time. So Sql Server has started. In the meantime, what I'm doing, I'm going to turn off the firewall so that I can test it. Same activity what I perform with the app server, I'll do here, except activation of the web server. Okay, just minimize it. This is the Sql server. First time, as I said, it's going to start, so wait for some time. So our web server is ready. Database server is also ready. Here I just create a database, template and test database and test table. As of now, so here let me, sorry guys. So here I'm going to check the IP of the machine. So machine IP is 10.0.0.4, and if you remember, the other machine which is located in India, the IP of that machine is 192.168.0.4. So for the time being, just to test, I'm going to ping the IP. Ping 192.168.0.4. It's not responding. Okay, same activity I'm going to do here. IP, sorry. So here 192.168.0.4. So I'm going to ping the IP of the first machine 10.0.0.4. It's not responding. Region, as of now, we haven't set up any type of peering or any type of secure communication or PNCs. So just to show you what I'm doing, I'm going to enable the VNet peering first. First, the use case I'm going to show you here. In case you're looking for, in case you both networks are available in Azure Cloud Computing, and you are planning to exchange the file, you're planning to take the remote desktop, you are planning to access the resources, then you guys on very short notice, then you guys can use it. But in this case, both the networks should be the part of the same subscription and the same cloud, then only is possible. So what I'm doing, I'm going to select my network. Okay, here in the network we have this implementation. I think last Saturday I shown you, but as this is topic for the secure connection, so this is the first connection. I will not take much time. I'll show you. So here is a IAN name I'm going to pass, link name I'm going to pass as a IAN to US connection. Okay, this is this connection name, and traffic and IP forwarding, all these I'm going to allow. And what you have to do, you have to pass the peer network name. So peer network name I'm going to pass as a US to IN connection. And remember, the portal that we are using is working on the ARM model, Azure Resource Group. You guys can use it. If your resources, the network that you're using, if this network, the network that you are going to use, maybe you created it 10 years ago or 7 years ago, then you guys can use this one. In my case, my network is recently created, so I'll use the first one. Now here, first network is selected. By default selected, you have to select the peer network. So primary network is the India network, secondary is the US one. And here also I'm going to allow the access. So once you're going to add it, so what Microsoft will do? Microsoft will add two connection. Although connection is a service, but it's available as a property also. So it's totally up to you whether you want to create it from the service or through the property. So in this case, what Microsoft will do? Microsoft will create two connections, one in India, second in United States. Let me show you here. So see here, it's a connected. So the backbone infrastructure that earlier I was talking about. So if you remember this one, this is called the backbone infrastructure. So you are going to make the communication from India to US. You think you're going to communicate directly, but actually Microsoft will communicate like this. They will send your signal to backbone infrastructure, and from backbone infrastructure, this machine will get the response, request and response. Same from here. If you're
Atul,
requesting from your backbone infrastructure, you have to take.
uh, uh, you connected both network, which is in the Azure only, right? Okay, but
Correct.
if we want some of the another network, like that one of the server as an AWS, okay, and
Possible,
one of the server,
possible, but not through this one. Not through this
okay,
one. This proper. That's why here is said if your networks are available in same ecosystem, then you should go with it. If it is not, then you should go with another option through LNG and BNG. Okay. So see here, this is first network India, and this is the second network US. Network. Okay, connection pairing. See here. Now these two are connected. I'm going to show you whether these two are communicating internally or not. -T. Communication started. -T. Okay. These two machines are communicating. Now I'm going to exchange some file through private IP address. What is the private IP address on the machine? Is this. First let me, okay, //192.168.0.4/C$. In case you want to copy paste some data, you can. See guys, file exchange is also possible. You can exchange files between these two networks. Although one machine is available in India in one region, second machine available in United States in different region. But exchange of file is possible through private IP address. These are communicating internally, even through private IP address. In case you want to take the remote desktop, that is also possible. Or on one server, if you have set up the Sql server on secondary network, you have set up application through private IP address, application and database both can communicate internally. Is it clear to everyone? Here, this is my Sql server. Let me check the authentication. Here I'm going to select the Sql Server authentication. By default, the Windows authentication. The username for the Sql authentication was dev. Password was India, INDIA at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is a big topic, guys. Frankly speaking, it's a big topic, very big topic. Here, database, as of now, there's no database. I'm going to create a test database. Database name is universal. Okay. Under it, I'm going to create a test table. Okay. Create table, test, ID integer, name varchar 100, 200, and that's okay. Okay. What I'm doing, I'm going to insert a record also. Insert into test values, VAL values, ID is 1 and name is Atul. Okay. Same database, what I'm planning to connect with from the peer location. So this is my web server. This is my web server. What I'm doing, I'm going to create a connection, database connection, notepad. I'm going to save it. Connection.udl, where I'm going to create on my local machine. Okay, here what I'll do, I'll pass the IP of the another machine. CMD IP config. This machine IP is 192 series, so I'm going to pass the IP address of the machine which is used as the database server. So here I'm going to select the provider as a SQL server. Okay, and here IP I'm going to pass. This time I'm going to use the private IP address, which is 10.0.0.4. And what is the username of the server? The username was Dev, and password was India INDIA at 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. And see here, we have created this database. This database is created in United States, but through private IP address I can access in India. Hope this will be clear to all of you now. Is it clear? So you guys can ping, you guys can extend the data, you guys can take the remote desktop, or you guys can connect your application, means database you can connect through private IP address. Is it clear or not? And in case your development team is asking for the connection string, so okay, this is the connection string. And I connected through private IP address, I'm not using public. So this is okay. In case you're going to delete it, so let me delete this connection. Peering, I have enabled the peering, so this peering I'm going to disable. I'm going to delete it. 1 second. I'm going to delete it. See here, you want to delete US to India. Okay, both will be deleted very soon. Very soon, both will be deleted. Okay, deleted. I'm going to ping the other machine now again. Ping 10.0.0.4 minus T. It's not responding. Now there is no connection, guys. If you feel you want to establish the connection, it will take 2 minutes. In case you feel you don't want communication anymore now, you just go and delete it. So this type of connection is called the network peering or VNet peering. Hope this will be clear. If it is clear, then I'm going to move with the second option. Guys, Azure VNet peering is clear or not? Again repeating, Azure network peering or VNet peering connect to Azure virtual network. Once it is paired, the virtual network appear as one of the connectivity purpose. Network between virtual machines in the paired virtual network is routed through Microsoft backbone infrastructure through private IP address. In this condition, public IP address is not involved. Hope this will be clear. Yes, then let's move with the second option. Second option is called the VNet to VNet connection. network to network connection. So in network to network connection, we have multiple options. I will show you a couple of the options. Remaining, you guys can try. Okay, so here to set up the network to network VNet to VNet connection, you have to set up the VNG. So in my case, if you remember, we already have set up the VNG. Same VNG I'm going to reuse now. In this condition, you see here my VNGs are ready. Here my VNGs are ready. Let me pin on dashboard. VNG. From here, guys, there are lots of steps will be introduced. Just try to memorize it. Even I will show you. It required some script also. The script I will share with you. Okay, here we have the first VNG called as the INVNG. It's active. Second is USVNG. This is also active. So let me show you first. First, I'm going to show you. Okay. Okay. One second, guys. Let me minimize these machines first. Okay. I'm thinking, guys, how to move ahead. Okay. Let's discuss about the point to site connection. Okay. What I'm going to discuss? I'm going to discuss about the point to site connection. So before moving ahead, let me tell you about the use case. The use case is, suppose you have a two or multiple setup available. One is the on-premise setup and the second is cloud setup or multiple cloud setup. In case you want to make the communication through private IP address from your local machine, then how to do it? So here, suppose guys, I'm going to, let me think how to set up it. Okay. Here I have a cloud setup and I have an on-premise setup also. This is my on-premise setup. On-premise setup can be office or it can be your home network also. Nowadays in this pandemic situation, 90% IT professionals are working from home. So I'm assuming you are going to connect from your home network. So this is your home network. This is your personal laptop or desktop. Right? This is tablet, or you want to connect through the mobile. Okay, so here I have to set up. The left side setup is your office. Suppose this is your Mumbai office, your headquarters, and this is cloud network, and this is your home setup. What you are planning? You are planning to make the communication from your local machine to cloud ecosystem. So how exactly you can in this condition, or maybe you have a, okay, one second, let me delete this. Let me delete this, guys. Suppose in my case I have two setup. See here, this is my office, this is my home network, this is West US and this is West India. This is West India and this is West US. Okay, so if you're planning to do the communication directly between two different networks, that's also possible. Or you're planning to make the communication from between your local environment to the cloud ecosystem, that's also possible. So here we have to create two VNG. This is my VNG. Okay, let me change the color. This is your virtual network gateway. Without VNG, you guys cannot make the communication between these two. So here, whenever you're going to set up the point to site connection, what Microsoft will do, Microsoft will set up a VPN tunnel. Here, Microsoft will set up a VPN tunnel. Okay, and here, this is your VPN tunnel. Internally, if you remember, I said VPN tunnel is using IPsec or IKE protocol for the communication purpose. So this is your VPN tunnel. VPN tunnel. What it use? It use IPsec or IKE, and okay, this is the protocol. What it will do? It will give you the secure connection. Here, this is your secure connection. If you have set up these, you guys can use, I mean, another environment will be local for you and you have to implement it. This is the option number one. Second option, suppose you want to connect India US location from your local machine. From your local machine, you want to connect. So what you have to do, you have to register, you have to perform some action. And here in this case also, VNG is required. If you have the set up the VNG, so you have to generate the certificate, server certificate and child certificate or client certificate. Client certificate you have to install on your local machine, while server certificate you have to register here. If you have registered the server certificate, then Microsoft will allow you to make the communication through VPN. I'm going to show you. So this is also possible, but here we have to register. Here we have to register root certificate, R002 root certificate, and here we have to register VPN client certificate. Wherever you want to set up the VPN, just go and set up the VPN client certificate and install VPN client. Okay, how to perform this? I'm going to show you. I need a break of 1 minute, guys, so that I can get some water. Since last continuously speaking since last 2 hours, so I need a small break. Okay. So if you want to set up VPN on this, so here you have to install VPN client as well as you have to set a VPN client certificate. Here you have to register only root certificate, but here if you have set up here VPN client and VPN client certificate, then here you guys can communicate. These two machine will not communicate, but the this VM or the server or the laptop where you have set up, from here you guys can communicate directly. Here you have set up VNG, but if you haven't set up the root certificate here and client certificate here, so here also you cannot communicate. Wherever you have registered your client and root certificate, from that root only you guys can make the communication. So again, here is question is, what is point to site, or what exactly this is? So this is called the point to site VPN gateway. It will connect it will help you to create the secure communication from your through your private network to or I can say it will create a secure communication to your virtual network from an individuals or from your local client computer. it's also in this condition it establishes the connection through private IP address. In case you're looking to data exchange, you're looking to take the remote desktop, you're looking to make the communication through private IP, then only it is useful. And this is one of the safest way. In real-time situation, this is very safe. So from here, guys, I'm going to take a break of 30 seconds or 1 minute. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. For the time being, recording, I'm going to start. Again, I will resume in 1 minute.
This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry guys, so in case you're planning to, okay, so far I shown you two implementation. One, how exactly you guys can make the communication between two network through network peering. That implementation I shown you. Second implementation I shown you in case you're planning to make the communication from your on-premise ecosystem or from your home network to the cloud computing through VPN client that I shown you. Third implementation I'm going to show you through that is also called, that's called the VNet to VNet connection. That's very simple. Suppose you have two cloud network available. This is your United States network. This is India network. Against these two networks, we already have created two VNG. One VNG in India, second VNG in United States. So in case you feel you are planning to implement the network VNet to VNet connection, just go and click on the connection. Either click here, or the second option is we have a service available called as the connection. One second, go down, down. This is connection. Go and click on create button. Here you can decide whether you're looking for the one-way connection. Means suppose from India you want to request United States, but you don't want to request anyone from United States in India. In that condition, you have to go without this checkbox. But in case you want to two-way communication, then you guys can use this checkbox. Just select the connection type as a VNet-to-VNet connection. Select the region like this. Suppose connection. This I'm going to create in India resource group. VNet-to-VNet. And name I'm going to pass, suppose T2V2, T2V2. I'm looking for one-way connection, and where I'm going to create, I'm going to create in India location, in West India location. Then here you have to select the primary location and secondary location. Okay, so we already have created, that's why it's giving me the error. And pass the shared access key and create it. It will take 2 to 10 minutes. 2 to 10 minutes and connection will be established. If I'm going to check, if I'm going to connect without checkbox, without checking it, then it will be one-way communication. If you're going to check it, Microsoft will create two connections, same like it. Here, last time I checked this checkbox, that's why they created two, India to US and US to India. And you can see here connection established. And the route I'm following is this one. In case you want to follow any other route, that is possible, you can. So here I'm from this is here I have set up VPN client on my local machine. Here root certificate I have registered in India location, and from India I can connect to US also through VPN tunnel. Or in case you want to make the communication directly from India to US, that is also possible. Just generate the register the certificate here and do it. It's a possible. You are not the part. Do one thing, just follow the recording. How to generate and install, just follow the recording. You are not the part of it. It's a long procedure. Okay, otherwise, if you want how to install, I just double click and install. It's very simple, but just follow the recording. There are lots of steps. Okay, now in case anyone have any question, you guys can unmute and ask your question. If you don't have any question, then we can conclude the session. And next Saturday, I'm going to start the new topic. The topic is, let me check the topic.
That's an API one.
Okay, so the topic I'm planning as of now is front door and API, application gateway, front door, application gateway, and Azure Active Directory. Either these three topics, Then I'm planning to start app service, cloud service, app service plan, SQL Azure, API management, Azure function logic app, then Docker. Then cheaper is VPN is much cheaper. VPN is cheaper, but it will depend on what SKU you have selected. If you have selected the lower, then you have to pay less amount. If you have selected the upper limit, then you have to pay huge amount. Both are costly. Remember, both are costly. It will depend on what SKU you're looking for. If the SKU is lower, then pricing will go down. If the SKU is higher, then pricing will go up. Minimum are in, I think, $455 or $60, maximum $85,000 per month, depending on what exactly you're looking for. Any question? No? Then recording, I will share by end of the day. I mean, normally it's taking 1 hour, 1 or 2 hours to complete. Once it will complete, I will share with you guys. Bye, everyone. And one more last thing, guys. Make sure you guys will book your resources. Otherwise, very costly. Very costly. Maybe per day it will consume 4,000-5,000 rupees, depending on what SKU you have selected. Minimum 2,000 to 4,000 it will consume per day. So make sure once your POC is completed, immediately delete it. Bye, everyone.
Thank
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
you.